Big Ray's Wrestling Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Big Ray's Wrestling Show. You know me, I am the Mark of the Masses, the man with a plan. Big Ray here to stay to talk SummerSlam 2015 today. Ladies and gentlemen, I am not joined by my Can-Am brother from the north, but I am joined by Mr. Back in the Day himself, the old school guru. You know him on Twitter at You Got The Show. I know him as my personal and close friend, Bill Schuyler. Dude, thank you for coming on OneWrestling.com and doing this recap and review with me, bro.
It's a pleasure as always, Ray.
Well, I got a quick question for you before we jump into SummerSlam. You know, is wrestling fixed?
I didn't know it was broken.
Right, which is the name of Bill Apter's book, which is coming out this October. Ladies and gentlemen, go to Amazon.com and pre-order your copy. Again, I'm going to be at a book signing, Legends of the Ring, with Bill Apter. More information on Twitter will become available, and I am really excited. It is a wealth of knowledge. It is history coming from the mouth in written form of the icon Bill Apter. Follow him on Twitter at Apter1Wrestling. Now let's jump into this SummerSlam 2015 from my hometown in Brooklyn, New York. The beautiful Jennifer Diaz. You can follow her on Twitter at Jen Lovely or Jennifer L. Lovely. That young lady lives in Brooklyn. I'm not going to tell you exactly where, because you go knocking on her door, I'll knock you out. But anyway, yeah, I'm talking to you too, Bill. But here's the deal. I thought this was a damn good pay-per-view, man. I really, really enjoyed the pay-per-view. Every single match had me on edge, man. What do you think, buddy?
Yeah, SummerSlam was a pleasant surprise. They definitely are going for that gusto, making this the second biggest pay-per-view of the year behind WrestleMania, and I think they pulled it off.
And also, man, you know, I was kind of a little shaky at first about the whole Jon Stewart thing, but I thought he did a good job at Raw. He's definitely a wrestling fan, and it was kind of weirded out by the fact that that whole hour-long pre-show, there was no match. Did you expect a match on the pre-show?
I did, and as a matter of fact, there were streaming issues on my end, and the pre-show wasn't even available to me. Took until 7:10 before I actually had anything, but thankfully I was able to, you know, hit the resume and jumped into it and caught everything. But yeah, the pre-show, originally they said there was going to be a match on there. They were going to move the tag team title match there, but they didn't, and they managed to fit it all in the big show, which is cool for me.
Well, I thought that was really cool. Now they, at the beginning of the show, they did have Jon Stewart cutting a promo. He had Mick Foley coming in, and you know, asking Mick Foley to be his backup. But Mick Foley thought he was interviewing The Rock, and the fact is that it was Brock. And I thought it was a pretty funny segment. It was a good segment, a little too long for me. It was something that I think they could have done on the hour-long pre-show. Your opinion?
Yeah, absolutely. But the best part of that was just that over the miles and miles and years and plane rides and car trips, Mick's never been to Suplex City, and he said he wasn't starting tonight.
Now, let me tell you right now, Bill. Now, listen, again, my lady Jen is a huge fan of Mr. Rocky Johnson, Dwayne Johnson. And if Dwayne Johnson showed up at SummerSlam and I didn't get her tickets to that damn show, I would have been in the doghouse, my brother. So thank God The Rock didn't show up tonight. But it was Brock Lesnar. But we'll get into that later. Let's jump into the first match. This is the 100th and 25th time that Orton faced Sheamus. I wasn't really interested in Mr. Money in the Bank Sheamus versus Orton, but I thought it was a pretty decent match. Let me get your opinions before we jump into the specifics of the match.
Yeah, I was actually surprised myself. I figured out it's another Sheamus Orton match, but the two of them just really kicked off this show the way it needed to be, with a lot of action, a lot of hard hitting. I was happy.
It was a good way, actually, of starting the show off. Again, it wasn't an all-time classic match, but it was a really, really solid match. I mean, Randy Orton was bleeding during the match, and like they say in the wrestling world, he bled the hard way. There was a really cool spot where Sheamus did a slingshot and it looked like he was going for a flying shoulder block, and he was caught in an RKO. Later on during the match, Sheamus actually was about to get hit with an RKO, but then he was able to push Randy Orton into the corner, hitting him with a bro kick, and then hitting him with a second bro kick. And listen, Sheamus goes over clean here. So, I mean, what are your opinions on Sheamus going over Randy Orton, who's, even though a little older, he's been, like, really pushed by the WWE right now?
Yeah, they definitely, I don't know what Sheamus has done, but back in the good graces of the booking committee, that's for sure. And he was, those two bro kicks were ugly looking. I mean, just in a good way.
In a good way, right.
It was a unbelievably nice, clean match. Them guys just beating the living stuffing out of each other the entire way, and it was a very good match. I gave that myself like 3.5 stars out of 5.
Wow, not bad, ladies and gentlemen.
I was impressed.
And you can go to OneWrestling.com to see Bill Apter's match for match breakdown and his opinion on each match. He actually gives his match rankings at OneWrestling.com, so you can check that out in written form. And I thought, again, I enjoyed the match. I did like the finish. I thought it was a nice, clean way to finish, and I'm interested to see where Sheamus is gonna move forward as Mr. Money in the Bank. And I did like the fact that Sheamus acknowledged the crowd calling him stupid in Brooklyn, but that's what we do here in New York, and I'm sure in Philly also, right, buddy?
Oh, absolutely.
You know, two of the toughest towns in this damn country. But we're gonna move on to the next match, and I'm gonna tell you right now, this was probably my favorite match of the night. It was the 4-way tag team match for the tag team championships, and I will say this: New Day does in fact rock, but it was the New Day versus the Lucha Dragons, and I'm going to steal something from these guys who I love listening to their podcast, Don, Tony, and Kevin Castle, Los Jabadores, or Los Matadores, or Los Jabadores, you get it? Anyway, versus the tag team champions, the primetime players. Why don't you break down this match, man? Tell me what you liked out of it, man.
Well, as always, as far as the Los Jabadores, it's a shame when it comes to Kalisto, because the former Samurai del Sol is one of the greatest high flyers in the business, and if he was booked the right way, he could be WWE's new Rey Mysterio for this generation. The guy playing the former Sin Cara, I think it's a Camacho. I lost track of who was playing who. He is what he is. He's not the best in the business. He's certainly not the worst. But I would like to see the end of this tag team and let that guy get a push. But that's a story for another day. When it came down to the match itself, a team that I loved when they were Epico and Primo. I don't dig the entire El Matadors or Los Matadors or whatever it is. But I love the primetime players, and New Day has grown on me. Every time I see them, they're hilarious in the ring, and the way, well, yeah, they just always manage to satisfy one way or another.
Listen, we could take a little time on this match because it was definitely a really great match. There was a lot of high spots in this match, and there were a lot of funny but really, really good entertaining spots. More or less, let me tell you something. That spot where Big E did the splash on the apron on Darren Young, he could have broke him in half. I mean, what did you think when you saw Big E jump? It looked like 10 feet in the air and come down on Darren Young.
That's a big guy.
That's a big dude.
To be coming down on you, and you know that guy was like, oh my God. Just seeing the lights blotted out.
My gosh. And then you had El Torito who tried to get on what's his name? Xavier Woods. And Xavier Woods, you gotta love this guy. This guy is out there. It's like a mix of Jimmy Hart and I don't know who else, but he's out there just egging on the crowd. You hear him screaming and yelling the whole entire match and just getting involved, and he actually face planted El Torito, which I absolutely love seeing that little son of a gun's mask hit the mat. I mean, what was your opinion when you saw that little spot, man?
I loved it. They could beat up on that guy all night long. And I would have. He should be the piñata up on a pole match.
Wow, remember that back in WCW?
Yes, indeed.
Dude, what about that superplex power bomb like pyramid spot that they did?
Oh yeah, he hit him with the old Tower of Doom type of thing.
God,
It was
so
great. He's such an outstanding athlete.
Titus, yeah.
Titus is just he
So
is
good.
definitely a superstar that deserves to have some singles gold around his waist at some point down the road. But I was very surprised because I wasn't sure if this match was going to be good or if they were going to just try to squeeze it in and not give him enough time. But plenty of time for the size of it, and with 10 matches on a card, you know, it really fit in well. They did everything just the right way on this, and I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Well, let's quickly go over the finish. Basically, at the end of the match, Titus hits his finisher, which is kind of like a sit-out power bomb, and basically, Kofi, after Titus is pulled out of the ring, Kofi actually steals the pin, and the New Day are the new WWE Tag Team Champions. I am so happy, elated, excited. There's so many different ways I can express how I feel. Go ahead, Bill.
Was that not the greatest celebration in history that those three guys did winning that? I mean, I was like, I couldn't believe it.
Day rocks. Yo, New Day freaking rocks. One of my favorite. New York was feeling them. Brooklyn was feeling them. Jersey was feeling them. The whole East Coast was feeling them. I'm sure everyone around the world was feeling them. I mean, these guys are fantastic. And you know what? They're the type of heels that you just love. You don't even hate them. You love them.
You can't hate them because they're that damn good in the ring.
So
on
good.
top of it, all three of them guys are phenomenal. Even you know, I mean, back when he was Consequences Creed, way back in the day for TNA, and continues to impress. Xavier, quite the athlete.
Listen, breaking news here at OneWrestling.com. I just got a private message from Bill Apter that he is actually also doing a review. So we're going to have two different opinions. Well, actually three different opinions on the match. You know, Bill Apter does his at OneWrestling.com and also here YouTube /OneWrestling video. So after you're done with our video, you can check his video out. And if you've watched his video, you know, stay with us and check out our opinions, because we all have different opinions here. And no one's wrong, no one's right, because it's all professional wrestling, sports entertainment. Now, we're going to jump into the next match. And again, very excited, very happy over, very happy. They're so over the New Day. A match that I really didn't care about. I really don't want to spend too much time. Maybe you do. But we have Dolph Ziggler and Lana versus Rusev, Machka, and Hot Summer, as he calls her, Summer Rae. I will quickly say that Lana came out looking quite... what's your opinion on how Lana came out looking with her brand new look?
She looked outstanding.
Outstanding.
Wow. That's all I could say was wow. She was definitely making Summer Rae look like the proverbial third wheel.
Ooh, yeah.
And again, you know, this match here, it's Ziggler, it's Rusev, two of the best guys on the roster, and two of the guys that they're not using in the right way as usual. For whatever reason, Dolph Ziggler can't get over for anything officially. The crowd loves him. Everybody loves him, but he never gets the push.
Never gets
and
the push.
Rusev is a guy that, unfortunately for him, he ran into that wall known as John Cena and kind of threw his career into a tailspin there. But I think he'll be back some point, hopefully this year, and they push him and let him be the great heel that he was building up to be before.
I agree, and again, I'm not going to spend too much time on this. I mean, I guess I kind of dug the whole cat fight at the end of the match. I thought Lana looked fantastic. Yeah, absolutely, especially back in the days in ECW. But that's a story for another day. But the truth of the matter is that this match was just average. It was more like a Monday Night Raw match. It ended in a freaking double countout, which I absolutely hate. And the fact is that you know. My opinion is that in a big-time pay-per-view like this, a rivalry has to end or something dramatic has to happen. This basically went nowhere. So
it's a feud that needs to come to an end. It's run its course already. They can take Lana off with Ziggler on their own and have nothing to do with Rusev anymore, and nobody will notice a difference.
I can't stand double countouts in a pay-per-view, by the way.
Yeah. I'm sure I see Lana losing her accent at some point, much like Kofi Kingston did back in the day, where it was like, hey, didn't you used to talk with a Jamaican accent?
Yeah, man, I used to talk with a Jamaican accent. Anyway, but again, this match was mediocre at best. I give it maybe 2 stars, even 1 out of 5. It wasn't that great, man.
There's 2 in a row that way.
And just so you know, I did give the New Day Championship win 5 stars because that's how much I love that damn match.
Wow, impressive.
That's how much I absolutely love that match. I'm gonna get heat for it, but I love that match. Great freaking match. Match of the night. All right, 4.5 stars. All right, so we're gonna jump into another match. Kind of a gimmick match. We had Adrian Neville. I'm sorry, just Neville. And Stephen Amell versus Stardust and King Barrett. Now, you're shaking your head because I think you have kind of the same feeling I did with this match. Another kind of letdown of a match. What do you think, buddy?
That match stunk. I'm sorry. I wanted to love it because I know how good of a wrestler Cody is, or Stardust. Barrett, also a good wrestler. And Neville, of course, is outstanding. Excellent. I'll be honest with you. The actor, the Stephen Amell, Green Arrow, I believe it is,
Stephen
or he's
Amell.
a Flash,
Stephen
one of the
Amell.
two.
He's the Green Arrow.
For his first match, and a guy that wants to actually get into the business, he said, he looked pretty good.
Yeah. You know, it's funny.
For what he would be able to do.
I actually wrote this.
Maria Menounos still has...
Well, listen, I wrote this down in my notes. That I thought also that Amell looked good for his first time in the ring. I mean, the guy did a flying cross body from the inside of the ring to the outside. I mean, it was cool. I mean, at the end, he jumped down on the guy on his opponents, and then he tossed King Barrett or what was he, the Cosmic King, into the ring, and then of course Neville hits his finisher, which is the Red Arrow, which is one of the most unbelievable finishers in wrestling. Listen, again, it was like a bad Monday Night Raw match with a decent TV star who not many people know. But I thought the guy was big. I didn't think he was that big. He's a big boy.
Yeah, he's a big guy.
Amell's a big guy, but I digress, in the words of Andre Corbeil. Let's move on to the Intercontinental title match. It was a 3-way match. It was Big Show, The Miz, and Ryback. Now check this out, Bill. I literally stepped away to the restroom, and when I came back, the match was over.
Yep,
I was like,
quick.
I was like, what the hell happened? Apparently, Ryback goes over after Big Show hit The Miz with the KO punch, and Ryback again stole the pin. I didn't really get to watch this match, and if the match was over that quickly, I would assume it wasn't that great of a match. What do you think, buddy?
Nah, I gave that got barely 2 stars. It was a question that came out, like my son and I were watching it, and he was like, why are they even wrestling each other? There really was no storyline behind this. The best part of the whole match was Ryback at one point going, stupid, stupid, and I always think, when you do that,
stupid.
But you knew Big Show wasn't going to win, and I really doubted, because they're pushing Ryback pretty good for an Intercontinental run, and I just didn't see The Miz getting it, because The Miz gets no respect, although I think he's much better and deserves that respect.
I thought he was actually going to win the match.
Did you?
Yeah, I did, because I just thought, The Miz, you know what I don't understand? People don't give this guy credit. This guy did, so what? He was on MTV or whatever, but the guy went through the Indies. The guy went to OVW. The guy did he Florida Championship Wrestling, OVW, whatever the hell he was doing. It was OVW back in the day. He paid his dues, and he's not bad, and he's entertaining, and he does everything a heel is supposed to do. Am I wrong?
No, you're absolutely correct. I mean, his championship run for the WWE was not supposed to be that big of a run. It was supposed to be a transitional thing. He went over so big in a heel way that they had to keep him. And I enjoyed the entire run he had. And then to go from headline at WrestleMania to not even being on WrestleMania the next year, but still in the company, was a definite slap in the face. But again, like I said, we won't spend too much time on this other than to say, well, we'll see where Ryback goes. He hasn't hurt anyone in quite a while, so maybe he's finally, got that
No,
just the right amount of strength.
let me tell you something. I like Ryback a lot.
Yeah.
I like Ryback a hell of a lot. I love his character. I love when they give him an opportunity to talk on a mic. I like the little snarky, smart. He's not a big meathead. He's actually a smart guy. He may come across as an idiot, I guess his character, but he's a very, very bright man who I think has gotten a hell of a lot better in the ring. I'm glad they didn't put the title on him a couple of years ago when he was first getting that push against CM Punk. I think this is a test run, man. I think Ryback may get that huge push, and people are behind him all the way. Your opinion?
No, definitely. He's moving along just the right way with the right kind of push, that they didn't throw him out into the deep end like so many they do and leave them flounder and just die because they're not ready yet for that. There's a lot to being carrying the company on your shoulders. There's a lot to that. A lot of guys aren't ready for that.
All right, we're going to quickly move on. So again, this match, I didn't watch it. What would you give it?
As far as the Intercontinental, I gave that 2 stars.
2 stars. Okay, that's fair. From what I hear, that's fair too. And literally, I walked to the bathroom, used it, washed my hands, which you should always wash your hands, and nothing. The match was over. I couldn't believe it. I was like, what the hell? Anyway, so we're going to move on to a match that I did enjoy. I thought this was a good match. This was a hard-hitting match. We had Bray Wyatt and Luke Harper, the Wyatt family, versus Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns. And this was a physical match with great spots. The Wyatt family were over. Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns were both over. It looks like little by little the fans are starting to really respect what Roman Reigns is giving in the ring, and I firmly believe, and I said this on the PW Hustle, and I've said this on a couple of other videos. I firmly believe that Roman Reigns is putting in the hard work, and that is how he is winning over the WWE Universe. Your opinion?
Yeah, they're building him up now the way he should have been built up, where like this upcoming WrestleMania would be the WrestleMania where he should have got that push like he did the first time. And now the people are realizing how good he is. You're giving him time to grow, and he goes over in a big way, and they can take him any way they want. They can go heel with him. That was something that I was a bit disappointed in with the match, only that because the rumor mill was running rampant that one of the two were going to turn heel, and there was no sign of any discord with the former members of the Shield at all. And the Wyatts are the Wyatts. I'm just waiting for the new member to show up, whenever that is, and whoever it is.
Member be. I'm hoping it's. I believe that he would be the next member of the Wyatt family, but then again, that's just my opinion.
There's a possibility, and he would fit in rather well. Once would be certain guy that has the End of Days.
Ooh, we're talking NXT.
We're talking NXT. If he was to get brought up to that main roster,
I think that'd be interesting, my friend. I think it'd be very interesting. But then again, listen, the end of this match, the match. Again, very hard-hitting, really, really good spots, like I mentioned before. At one point, Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose hitting the Doomsday device, which was the finisher of the late, great Hawk and... Well, Animal is still alive, thank God. But Hawk and Animal, the Road Warriors, and nobody does the Doomsday device the way the Road Warriors did. But they hit it, and then Dirty Deeds into a spear for a clean pin, and I'm surprised Bray Wyatt actually took the pin here. He was the one who actually got his back pinned to the mat, and again, this is another case where you have a guy that is unbelievably talented, super over, great in the ring, great size, and it's just, I don't know if there's enough spots for everybody like that, And
I don't know. That guy should be the biggest heel in the company,
so good.
And they just don't want to pull the trigger on him. I don't know what it is.
There must be a reason. I'm sure the WWE is not stupid, and I'm sure they have a pretty good idea as to why this amazing talent in Bray Wyatt hasn't reached that crescendo. But Again, I'm not a judge. I don't work for the WWE yet. But anyway, that's a story for another day. So now let's move on. Oh, what would you give this match, by the way?
I gave it 3 stars. I thought it was a solid 3.
Absolutely. Solid, good match, entertaining. And the fans were really into it. By the way, to all my friends in Brooklyn, you are fantastic. I love the energy you guys were giving. I was talking to Billy Ray Valentine during my drive home, and we both had this. I actually had it in my notes how this. I don't know if you watched it. If you noticed this, watch it back again. The fans in Brooklyn were very respectful. It was almost like watching Japanese wrestling, where at certain points of the match where it was a really good move, you would hear clapping, just like you would in the Tokyo Domes or so, what have you. Excellent crowd. So I'm giving some props to my peeps over there in Brooklyn. Bill?
Yeah, that Brooklyn crowd was obviously, I mean, it's a very knowledgeable wrestling fan base there in New York. One that doesn't get a lot of pay-per-views or Raws or anything.
Well, I mean, now we got the big arena there, so, the Barclays Center.
I think you're definitely going to see a return to the Barclays Center.
And I got to be honest with you, I've been to the Barclays Center 3 times now, and it is fantastic. It is a great place to watch wrestling, very easy to get to if you guys are in the New York area. If you guys are visiting from any part of the country, check out a wrestling. I mean, go to Madison Square Garden, but I'm telling you, for convenience, for it's just great. Barclays Center, fantastic. I love it over there. But anyway, I'm not trying to sell the Barclays Center. We're going to jump into what I thought was going to be the co-main event, or maybe even the main event of the evening. And I'm a little weirded out by why this match was so low on the card. But we have John Cena, You Can't See Me, the WWE United States Heavyweight Champion, in a title-for-title match versus Seth Rollins, the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Really quickly, before we jump into the match, what are your opinions? And this was, again, John Cena. I'm going to say this again to my friend A-Track Brown. John Cena continues to put forth solid match after solid match after solid match. I thought this was an excellent match. Your opinions?
All right, I'm going to put this way. I agree with you. John Cena, vastly underrated due to the hatred of him being pushed so much. And normally I don't have anything bad to say about his performance. This match, Seth Rollins carried, in my opinion.
Oh, absolutely.
John slipped up on at least 2 to 4 questionable kind of botches on his end. Just where his legs were, like his knees got brought up at one point. He just wasn't his spots right on, which is rare for him. I mean, normally when he's, if he's going to throw,
professional, right?
Yeah. So I don't know if for whatever reason he was off his game a little bit, but Seth Rollins was phenomenal. And Seth, I've been a fan of since he was Tyler Black, back in Ring of Honor days. And although I have not been enamored with his championship run, the way they're booking him, he's too much of a cowardly heel and never seems to get it in. He got it in tonight a lot, I thought. And I also liked the new outfit he had on. He was
I like
white,
the
like
old
Shawn
white.
Michaels.
That looked great, didn't it?
Yeah,
it actually
stood out.
It took him away from that whole what the hell was the name of the faction with him in
Shield.
The Shield. It took him away from the Shield look, and I dug it, man. I actually did dig it. The match had a big match feel. What I took away from it was weird because I said it was so crazy because I felt that Seth Rollins was fighting more of a babyface style, and John Cena was more of the heel, being the brawler, and because Rollins was flying all over the air like he was freaking Daniel Bryan or Rey Mysterio or something like that. I mean. And then John Cena, I hate criticizing in-ring talent, but I'm gonna ask you a favor, John. If you listen to this, I love you. My son loves you. Stop doing the springboard stunner. It looks horrible.
He botched that so bad. Oh, that was terrible.
So freaking
really bad.
But what I did love, I love the fact that Rollins was like a cat. He was always like two or three steps ahead of John Cena, and every time let's say if John Cena threw a sunset flip, this son of a gun would land on his feet. There was a couple of times, like he was always landing on his feet. There was a great spot, Bill, where John Cena is hooked onto the second turnbuckle, and Seth Rollins is standing looking down at him on the top rope, and he just jumps up in the air and lands with both feet right in the chest of John Cena. What'd you think of that spot, buddy?
Yeah, basically stealing Finn Balor's coup de grace almost. It was a great hit. He was out of this world during this match.
What about, and I'm going to tell you this. I never, there are two guys that do a frog splash that I think are worthy of there's Eddie Guerrero, number 1, and number 2 is RVD. That was one of the best frog splashes I have seen in the ring in the last decade. Your opinion?
He was so high. He shot up like a rocket. And he banged that down. That was beautiful. Again, he just kept impressing me as the match went on and on. And you talked about who was wrestling as a face and who was a heel. I thought somebody was going to make a heel turn the way this match was going, but it didn't happen, and I'm glad it didn't. But and how about the triple where Rollins he kept doing suicide
dives outside the ring. Listen, something that really impressed me, John Cena, usually he'll catch his opponent, he'll roll back, and he'll pick up his opponent and throw him up in the AA, which he did. But Rollins showing like strength. Rollins catching Cena, rolling up, and then picking the 260-pound muscle-bound John Cena, and then putting him up in the AA, hitting John Cena, they only getting a 2 count. And what did you? I thought that was cool with him stealing that move. But
loved it.
But what was your opinion on John Cena slapping on, "Woo, the figure 4"?
Right there you thought, oh my God, Cena's going to win it, and he's going to win it that way. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, turn that son of a bitch over. Turn it over. Turn it over.
Yeah,
and he finally got it over, and it was like, whew, because I did not want him to go. I don't want anyone to beat Rick's record, and it's going to happen. But it was a great match.
Well, hold on, quickly. John Cena did get another knee to the face.
Yes, he did.
He did get another knee to the face, which he sold, I think, very well. John Cena putting Seth Rollins up in the AAA, knocking the referee out, and I said, oh boy, if Dusty Rhodes, God rest his soul, was still alive, I see the finish coming. The old Dusty finish, and it was, as for some reason, and I spoke to Billy Ray Valentine, who was not happy with the finish of this match. I personally thought it was kind of a weird twist. I would love to find out why Jon Stewart did this, but Jon Stewart comes into the ring, and at one point, I liked it because I didn't know if he was gonna hit Cena or hit Rollins. It was kind of going back and forth, but he freaking hits John Cena, lays the chair down, and Seth Rollins hits the pedigree on the steel chair. Why? What are your opinions on why John Stewart? I have my opinion, so give your opinion first.
I just think that this was Jon Stewart's year. Jon Stewart's going to kind of disappear from the public for a while, I'm sure. And the big wrestling fan he is, apparently he's a heel. And I think he just really was like, you know what? I want the chance to come out there and throw the crowd for a loop and help John Cena lose his match. It came out of nowhere. I'm like, really?
Yeah, that was.
He's gonna, and then he thought, no, he's not gonna hand the chair. He's just gonna throw the chair back out of the ring or something. No, boom, he hits Cena in the gut and the pedigree, and it was 1, 2, 3, and the first ever WWE World Heavyweight Champion and U.S. title holder.
Well, Booker T did mention the fact that he did it, but he was the World Heavyweight Champion, not the same thing. Not the same thing. So I know what you mean, Booker T. I ain't no sucker, but the fact is that no one has ever been the United States Champion and the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. So I see where Booker was trying to put that over, but I thought it was bad timing on his part to bring that up. But again, this was a really good match. Really enjoyed it. I wasn't enamored with the finish. Again, if it leads to something down the line, I think it'll be cool. But I don't think Jon Stewart. Now, my opinion why Jon Stewart did it. You see, Jon Stewart is selling John Cena's picture on eBay that he autographed for him earlier in the night. So I'm assuming that maybe Jon Stewart was doing a favor for Triple H and Stephanie. Maybe he's gonna get a new job. Maybe he's the new Raw general manager.
Imagine that.
What would you guys think? Well, how would you guys, Bill Apter, if you're watching this video, I want you to comment on this. I mean, how would you feel if Jon Stewart, for a short period of time, was the new Raw general manager, or the WWE general manager? He controls SmackDown and Raw as a heel. I mean, he is retired. He doesn't need the money, apparently. I guess he didn't make no money on the Daily Show. Anyway, but a really great match. I give this match about 4 out of 5 stars. What do you think?
I gave it 4.5. And I'll be honest with you, if Stewart hadn't got involved, it might have got a little bit more.
Right.
It wasn't quite a 5-star, only for the fact of, unfortunately, it was on Cena's end. Seth Rollins had a 5-star match.
Oh yeah.
And what I thought about it that was great, and which soured it for me, was the fact that he finally had a match that Seth had no interference with. The security company wasn't with him. Kane didn't come out there. It was just him mano a mano with Cena and taking it back and forth. And Stewart just came out of nowhere with that hit. But good match, and having that be the pretty much the middle of the card almost was worth it, and it made up for because some of the other matches that were lacking earlier in the night.
Well, we're gonna move in, and I agree with you 1,000%, Bill. We're gonna move on to a match that I honestly thought I would want to spend more time on, and I didn't enjoy it. And this is why. Again, talking to Billy Ray Valentine on the drive home, Billy Ray and I were both discussing how amazing the match between Bayley and Sasha Banks was at NXT for the women's title. I mean, that match brought in emotion. It was just a great match. It told us, forget about telling a story, it was an epic story. An epic story was told of the underdog that just couldn't make it and finally did win. The fans were just in love with Bayley last night, or depending on when you're watching this video, at NXT. But my goodness, this match for me was a personal letdown. We have Charlotte Paige and Becky Lynch versus Tamina, Sasha Banks, and Naomi versus Nikki Brie and Alicia Fox in a 3-way elimination match. Team Bad eliminated first. I mean, I'm just gonna really quickly. I mean, the end of the match, we had Brie going for yelling Brie mode, jumping off the top rope, missing the drop kick. Becky Lynch then sidesteps her and puts her in a pump handle belly to belly suplex for the 1-2-3. So Charlotte Paige and Becky Lynch win the match, but did they win anyone's heart during this match? I don't believe they did. They didn't do what the ladies did the night before with Bayley and the former champion, the Boss. What do you think?
No, this was too much thrown into. It was just a mess. I don't know where it came. I'm not real big on them on the Raw SmackDown end of the company, where they can't book a match between one girl against another girl, or a woman against a woman. No disrespect, but we got to have them all these triple matches. Jeez. And triple matches are great now and then, but like every week, it's kind of like what TNA was doing with the X Division a couple of years ago, where every week it was a triple threat match. I don't want a triple threat match. I want to see, this match originally was supposed to be. It was supposed to be Charlotte
versus Nikki. For the title. And
John stepped in.
Allegedly, John stepped in.
Politicked and didn't want his girlfriend to lose her title.
Well, I guess the WWE, and again, this is our opinion, wants to kind of push Nikki past I don't know if I can say her name, but AJ Lee's total diva reign. But
Yeah.
but then again, I don't even count her reign as the longest reign, because the true longest reigning women's champion is the fabulous Moolah, my friend.
That's
So
right.
that's
26 years.
26 years. Jeez, nobody's gonna ever beat that.
No. But yeah, the match was a definite letdown on that end. Alicia Fox, please somebody ditch Alicia Fox, because she is it was botchamania on her end, and
girl.
she almost hurt Charlotte bad. That shot, yeah, come on, it was just there's so much talent in that ring. I mean, you got the Paige, Charlotte, and Becky Lynch are outrageous. Sasha Banks, and these are just these are the young girls.
Right.
Great. The Bellas have improved, tons.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, Daniel Bryan's wife, I think, is getting the better end of that because she has a better wrestler training her.
Oh yeah.
And I think they spend a lot of time making her into a better wrestler. And Naomi is great. Tamina is still, she's big. She's done nothing to impress me.
Agreed.
And that's two Superfly's kids. Just, every generation's not going to have it, And I don't mean to be disrespectful on that end, but his son didn't do much for me, and she's really not doing much either. I'm just hoping again that this, BAD, PCB, and all these different, get rid of them, and I just want to see the women going for the
everybody
titles.
go their own way, and just everybody fight for that strap. That's the way it should be.
Yeah.
Forget about this team garbage. But I agree with you. Let's jump into the pre-main event, I guess. And what would you give this match? The ladies match, the Divas match.
Ladies on that, I gave it like 2.5 stars.
Yeah, same here.
It just didn't. With all that talent in the ring, there should have been some really oh my God moments, and there really wasn't.
No, a couple of decent high spots, but other than that, not a big fan of this match. But
too much clutter.
A match that I really did enjoy. Kevin Owens, jeez man, back-to-back nights. Kevin Owens losing the title shot to Finn Balor, in my opinion, kind of a mediocre ladder match. I wasn't a big fan of that ladder match with him and Fergal Devitt. What was he called over there now? Finn Balor.
It's Finn Balor.
But
talking about a different event. Yeah, has there been greater ladder matches? Absolutely. I think they told a great story in the ring. And amazingly enough, this was Devitt's Balor's first ladder match. He's never had a ladder match in his entire career.
Well, it was okay.
Which is not surprising, I guess, because think about it.
Okay.
How many ladder matches do you see in Japan? Not many, if any.
Yeah, you see exploding ring matches.
Yeah, well, that's different promotion. But getting to this match here, Cesaro and Kevin Owens, oh my. I loved it. I don't know about you.
I did.
This match was right up there for possibly match of the night candidate.
Very good.
Early on,
it was like both guys exhibited a lot of strength. Both guys exhibited quickness and agility. Both guys knew how to tell a story. From springboard moonsaults to that freaking unbelievable springboard spinning European uppercut done by Cesaro.
Ridiculous,
dude. And Cesaro is still over, man.
10 swings. Sharpshooter, gut wrench suplex off the top rope, uppercuts all over the place. And Owens is doing what he's doing. Why Owens isn't winning right now, I don't know. I think I have an idea, and that's somebody that's a little bit older than everybody else in the company, and that's Vince. I think Vince probably despises him because he's not cut, that he's got a bit of a belly on him. That's just my opinion.
I think he's awesome.
Kevin Owens is one of the best in the world.
Oh, easy. This match for me was 4 stars. I think it was just excellent. It kept me interested the entire freaking match, and again, watching a guy like Kevin Owens jump from the second rope to the top rope and then do a moonsault. Serious, man? Like dudes that big shouldn't be doing stuff like that.
Not at all.
I mean, he is. People used to be impressed with Bam Bam Bigelow, and he's not as big as Bam Bam. But Jesus Christmas, this guy can really move in the ring. And Kevin Owens and Cesaro putting forth a hell of a match. What did you think? How many stars did you give this match?
I gave this 4.5. I was
Wow.
big time over on this match, and it was great to see Cesaro because he's another one that upper management has a problem with him because of his accent. Of all things, like I don't understand how. Why would I push a Swiss guy? Was a quote. But Cesaro, to me, I'm like, get a language coach or something. Drop your accent.
No, he can keep the accent. He just has to be sharper with his promos.
So I'm just saying, whatever it takes to get him over that little bit of a hump, because it's not much, because he's got the look, he's got the moves. He's pretty much the total package.
Listen. Really quickly, before I forget, I want to go over the finish of the match. Owens hitting that spinning. What is that driver called? Where he picks him up over his head and off the second rope. I can't remember. It's almost like a Michinoku driver type. Or package driver. I can't remember. Guys, if you know what it is, leave your comments here below, down low. I forgot to write down the name of his.
I can't think of
his pre-finisher, but he did hit the pop-up power bomb for the clean 1, 2, 3 in one match that I just really, really enjoyed. I love these guys, man. And again, Kevin Owens showed that he can main event any pay-per-view. What do you think?
Oh, yes. He is the future of that company for sure. Their future is so bright now. They have so much talent that it's scary almost, because a lot of these guys, I mean, he's been around for a while. A lot of the guys are relatively new.
Well,
but speaking of old and new, the main event was sick.
Well, you said speaking of scary.
Yeah.
I mean, two of the scariest individuals in pro wrestling today. We have the beast, Brock Lesnar, versus the Phenom, the Undertaker. Rest in peace. I do a pretty decent Undertaker, but anyway, dude, the Undertaker was surprisingly taken to Suplex City. Well, biatch. What do you think?
Let me tell you something, bro. First, Brock just attacked him from Jump Street. Boom. The bell didn't even ring, and that bell will come into discussion later on. But I mean, he was all over Undertaker right away, and Suplex City. Yeah, he did Suplex City, bitch, quote unquote. What do you have? Three F5s, one through a table. Kimura locks, submission matches all over the place. And one of my favorite parts is when Brock goes, "I'm going to kill you, and you SOB.
You're gonna have to.
You're gonna have to." Yeah, and then at one point Lesnar is laughing at him.
When they both sit up at the same time?
Yes.
Lesnar sits up. He does the whole WrestleMania where he starts laughing, and then the Undertaker sits up, and then the Undertaker looks at him, and they just start both laughing. And he beat the living hell. That was a great moment there, man.
Dude, this match made up for, if anybody was disappointed with WrestleMania, I think this match more than made up for it, and has left the door wide open.
Yeah. Well, see, I thought that Sting would get involved somehow, and he would distract the Undertaker, and Taker would lose the match, therefore setting up a main event with Sting and the Undertaker at WrestleMania. But it looks like we're leaning towards a rubber match between these guys. I mean, listen, this match was above and beyond anything that happened at WrestleMania, except for the finish. I mean, you had F5s through tables. You had the whole spots that we were talking about. One of the biggest choke slams I think I've ever seen the Undertaker do.
He had him up.
He had him up there, and Brock Lesnar sold the hell out of it. He kicked out of the Tombstone Pile Driver. The Undertaker kicked out of the F5. I mean, he took 3 F5s. did the Undertaker. The Undertaker was actually put in the Kimura lock at one point in juncture, and
that's what he got away and put him in the last ride. Boom.
Right.
Crazy.
Right.
Crazy.
And also Brock Lesnar was put in Hell's Gate, and he was actually able to break that, roll out of that, and put. I mean, dude. I mean, it was just an excellent match until
The controversy. Da, 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 da.
when the hell. First and foremost, Undertaker's in the Kimura. When the hell, in any wrestling event, in any event, have you ever seen the timekeeper
Never.
make the call and ring the bell? What sense did that make?
Never, unless it was a Montreal screw job type
Right.
of thing. If that's where they were going, but they didn't go that way.
I gotta tell you something, man. Unless the timekeeper was threatened by Brock Lesnar backstage or his family, there is no damn reason. Now, let me explain to you guys, if you didn't watch the pay-per-view, what exactly happened. The Undertaker was put in a Kimura lock, and apparently he did tap out. We would find out later on the replay that he clearly tapped out to the Kimura lock, but the referee was, for some reason,
It was on the other side.
on the other side, checking to see if Brock's shoulders were down for the pin while putting him in the Kimura lock. Now, Brock thinks he wins the match. The Undertaker, who was technically supposed to be the heel, but there was no heel. They were both baby faces. The fans just respected the crap out of both of these guys, if that makes any sense. The Undertaker hitting a low blow, putting Brock Lesnar back in Hell's Gate, and then Brock Lesnar is passing out, and then Brock Lesnar says, "Read between the lines, my friend," giving them the finger, giving them the bird before passing out, and Brock Lesnar's face was just wrecked. These guys must have hit each other with a couple of potatoes during the match, but then you have Paul Heyman. Undertaker
Lost his mind.
Lost his mind. You can clearly see on the replay he proclaimed that Brock Lesnar made the winner by submission, making the Undertaker tap. And I know I'm going on and on, but I'm gonna ask your opinion on this. Check this out. There's a no-win situation here, and this is why. Number one, now speaking of also Billy Ray Valentine, I'm giving him some credit for this. The whole streak being lost goes down the toilet. The Undertaker winning this match, he won it, but he lost. And they made the Undertaker look weak in winning the match because the Undertaker quit. You don't show the dead man quitting. That's for me, it's sacrilegious. You don't show the Undertaker quit. The Undertaker doesn't quit. He doesn't die. You'll have to kill him, and you can't kill what's already undead. I mean, if this is the gimmick you're going with, I mean, it was just so bad. I just, WWE, listen, if you're hiring, just send me your application. I'm not saying I'm a professional writer, but I just can't understand, and again, I'm trying not to be one of those guys, but I just can't understand why you would write that finish in. Why that finish would make sense in any freaking organization. Even if you were in Bob's Backyard Barbecue Wrestling, that would still be a bad finish. So you took a great freaking match, a match that told the story, and I feel like I'm cutting a hot seat at the Can-Am Wrestling Show, and you just made me just not enjoy this match. You brought it from a potential 4-star to me to a 3-star match.
Really?
Yeah,
wow.
It really killed it for me. I think Paul Heyman kind of saved it a little bit at the end with his promo, but I mean, that was the end of your pay-per-view. Now, I've been rambling on for a few minutes before we close out. I want to hear your closing comments on this match, Bill.
Yeah, I mean, I love this match from beginning to end. I love the controversy aspect of it. Yeah, you know what? With either one of these guys, nobody's gonna be happy with the outcome. Somebody's gonna be unhappy. Now, if the Undertaker had passed out, a la Brock did, they'd have been like, he's old, he's washed up, he can't, he's just passed out.
Right.
So you don't win, you don't lose with it. Yeah, tough call. Him tapping just makes Brock that much more of a beast.
Right. But
he is the future.
But it doesn't make sense because then the Undertaker wins, right? The match. If the Undertaker won clean, then I would understand. But the Undertaker didn't win clean. The Undertaker won dirty. I guess it's because he's a heel now or whatever. But the Undertaker now going into the match at WrestleMania, it defeats the purpose because he didn't win clean. He lost the match. He lost the match. He lost, and he looked weak. He tapped. You don't make the Phenom, the undead guy, tap. I understand where you're coming from, Bill. I thought it was a good
obviously
match.
this is as far as I know, Undertaker has never submitted in his entire career.
He hasn't.
You know,
but he did. I mean, technically he did.
Yeah.
The timekeeper saw it.
Timekeeper.
Who was the timekeeper? Was it Billy Martin? Was he?
Yeah, right. Pretty much.
I mean, like seriously, like.
Yeah, and you know what? And what I thought was great is Charles Robinson, Little Nate, because they used to call him. Remember, he was Ric Flair's.
Oh yeah,
back in the day, it was his personal referee. But anyway, he sold that too. Mm-hmm. He lost his mind.
He did
against the bellkeeper. I'm the referee. Blah 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 blah. This goes on, and then, like I said, Heyman did it. He's over there banging on the bell. Ding ding ding.
I got to be honest with you, Bill. I'm going to really interject really quickly. I really thought there was a mistake. I thought somebody made a mistake in ringing the bell.
Yeah, that's a possibility. I mean, hey, for all you know,
I thought. No. I know it's part of the whole thing, but while watching it, I said, "Holy crap! Somebody rang the bell by mistake." You know what I'm saying? The match. I don't know, but
it makes you want to tune in. I don't normally get too excited, but I'm definitely going to watch Raw tomorrow night because I want to find out the outcome of everything that happened.
Or tonight, depending on when you're watching.
Oh yeah, it's exactly.
But I mean, all in all, I mean, do you have any other closing comments about this?
No, just controversy makes money. Was that the title of
Controversy creates chaos? Is it? Chaos. Controversy creates cash. I think that's
something like that. And I definitely think you're going to see that here. It's going to open up. Something big is going to happen tomorrow night on Raw. That's going to take this into all the way up to the Royal Rumble.
Oh yeah.
And what that's going to be, I'm not sure. I really don't know.
This could be interesting.
Stinger's ready to go. They said Sting is in the best shape he's been in over 10 years.
But will we see Brock or the Undertaker in the Royal Rumble? King Kong Godzilla in the same ring again.
Hey, it's the most the Undertaker's wrestled in years.
I think Baron Corbin makes his debut at the Royal Rumble.
I could see that for sure.
I could see that, and making a big statement before getting tossed out by John Cena. But listen,
wow, John Cena really.
Listen, man. All in all, just quickly, out of 5 stars, what do you give this pay-per-view?
I'm going to give this 4 stars.
I agree, and that's because the New Day rocks. New Day rocks. No, it was all in all, it was a great pay-per-view. Maybe my averages didn't work out to what you did, but honestly, I think this was an excellent pay-per-view. Very, very good. If not excellent, very, very good. Very solid. Worth the $9.99 I spent on the WWE Network, and I could watch it again tomorrow if I want to. Watch it again 10 years down the line when my son's a little older. But dude, I thought it was an all in all group. It does have me interested to what's gonna happen Monday night, and that's the way wrestling should be, dude. So listen, man. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been our review of SummerSlam 2015. You can follow us here at OneWrestling.com, YouTube /OneWrestlingVideo. Follow me on Twitter at Big Ray Show. Follow my partner here on Twitter at You Got This Show. Follow Andre Corbeil at Andre_Corbeil. Billy Ray Valentine at Billy Ray Hustle. And don't forget my brothers from the PW Hustle. You got the Pharaoh of Fancy, A-Track Brown. Follow him on Twitter at Pharaoh of Fancy. Follow the Professor, Prof PW Hustle. You can follow him on Twitter at Prof PW Hustle. And of course, another member of the PW Hustle family, Fame Black. Follow him at Fame Black. I got to give my brother a shout out too. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, the legend, the icon, the man that answers the question, is wrestling fixed? Yeah, I didn't know it was broken. His book coming out. I cannot wait for my signed copy, Bill Apter, which you're going to be giving me personally when I go to Legends of the Ring. Follow him on Twitter at after One Wrestling and all of us here at One Wrestling. And you can follow us on Facebook also. Type in One Wrestling. You'll find us there. You'll find Big Ray. You'll find You Got the Show. You'll find everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, I say this every single video. I would do this for a living, but if I can't, I would do it anyway. Why? Because I love talking wrestling. Bill, where are we going to see these people? Are we going to see them down the or something?
We're going to see you down the road.
Down the road, in the words of the legendary and iconic and author Bill Apter, we'll see you at the matches. Later, guys. Thank you for watching. Peace.